Hello! Welcome to a brand new... What am I doing? I suck so bad. Why do I even do these videos? What's wrong with me? I'm such a fool. Nobody even watches. Nobody watches these videos. Who are you talking to? You're talking to yourself. You're a fool. You're an absolute fool. If you can relate to any of that, you've probably experienced something called Imposter Syndrome. Don't worry, as many as 70% of the population have experienced something similar at some point or other in their lives. Here's my 5 strategies to combat Imposter Syndrome. But before we do that, let's go make a smoothie. Come on, we'll make it together. We'll do some cool B-roll. Right, so where were we? 5 strategies to combat Imposter Syndrome. Well, before we do that, let's quickly review what Imposter Syndrome is. Now, Imposter Syndrome is a relatively new term. It was coined in 1978. It's not a mental disorder. It's simply a condition that is observed, and it's one that we don't really know a lot about. What we do know about it is the similar traits that people seem to experience when they have Imposter Syndrome, and they tend to be experiences of they feel like they themselves are failing to live up to not only their own expectations, but perhaps the people around them. They feel like they are not accomplished, that they're not successful. Now, again, this applies to pretty much everybody, regardless of how successful you are. The top 1% of people also experience Imposter Syndrome. Teachers that have been teaching for 20 years, pretty much everybody at some point or other experiences Imposter Syndrome. Now, there are levels of Imposter Syndrome. You can sort of be on the low end scale of Imposter Syndrome.
I shouldn't really be here. I don't really know what I'm doing.
All the way up to sort of chronic self-doubt, where you challenge the own validity of your experience and your personality on a daily basis. And the problem is when you do that, you increase your stress levels, you increase your anxiety, and you overall just become an unhappy person. But the good news is it's relatively simple to change, all through the power of thought. Now, before you get crazy and go, oh really, are you gonna talk about positive thinking, Rory? I was totally in that camp a couple of years ago, but I've done a 180 on it, and I am totally in the positive band camp now. Now, if you're interested, there was a 2016 study called, it's a long one, using executive control training to suppress amygdala reactivity to aversive information. The crazy cool thing with this is the positive participants actually increased the gray matter volume in their brain. Wow. Now, I want to read a quick quote from Steve Harvey here because I think it really resonates really well. You have to change the way you think. It is the determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like your position, think yourself out of it. Now let's just dissect that because that's incredibly powerful. If you just hear it quickly, it might go over your head, but if you stop and listen to that, we are where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. Never a truer statement spoken. I am here because I thought myself into this position. I am simply a culmination of choices and thoughts and decisions that I made have resulted in where I am today. It's all through the power of thought. And so if I don't like my position, I need to think myself out of it. So immensely powerful. Now, if you are wanting to see sort of an example or a demonstration of somebody going from sort of a negative, pessimistic point of view to swinging the pendulum and fully positive, check out David Goggins. The dude is a total beast. I mean, one of his quotes is, I don't stop when I'm tired, I stop when I'm done. He's awesome. If you haven't seen anything, I will post some links of him down in the comments as well as when he was on Joe Rogan. Really interesting talk. What are my 5 strategies? Well, number 1 is a pretty simple one. Number 1 is become consciously aware of when you have that inner critic, that negative self-talk, that imposter syndrome. When you feel those thoughts start to creep in, just become completely aware of them. What is useful, if you can, is take a diary of how many times you find yourself thinking something negative about yourself. And it's really helpful just to look back on the day and go, do you know what? I've been really negative today. I need to stop doing that. So that's rule number 1, become conscious and mindful of it and try and take a journal of every time you feel negative thoughts. Number 2 is very closely related to number 1. When you're consciously aware of your negative self-talk, what you want to try and do is stop heroing it and reframing it. So I'll give you an example. I messed up, I'm such an idiot, why did I do that? I always do that. Reframe it and say, I don't quite know why I did that. I'm better than that, I'm smarter than that. I'm gonna make a conscious effort to be better next time. completely different. Completely different, because you're telling yourself you're smarter, you're better, rather than you're telling yourself that you're negative, you're an idiot, you messed up, you always do this. Just reframe it. Number 3, breathe. Breathing is incredibly important. As the one and only legendary Wim Hof says, breathe, motherfucker. It is a core body functionality, and it's one of the only automated systems that we can actually take control over. And that's really, really important. Breathing is integral to how we feel. Just taking a deep breath, taking a moment to pause, can change how you feel. It can lower your blood pressure, it can calm and relax you and center you. So when you feel those negative thoughts coming on and you want to do some reframing, just do some deep breaths. I can't believe that I'm doing stuff like this, because just a couple of years ago, I was so anti stuff like this. I was, it's nonsense, it's all woo, spiritual crap. It's so funny how life changes and how you can change your experience and perspectives on things. So breathing, incredibly important. Number 4, baby steps. Take baby steps. It's not gonna happen, it's not gonna change overnight, but it will change and happen pretty quickly. Was that the door? I think that was the door. 1 second. I'm just imagining things. There was no one at the door. I've ruined my flow now. See, there's negative self-talk. Many people get positive self-talk audiobooks to listen to their commute or just to play in the background. And it actually works a lot better than doing it consciously, because when you have it subconsciously, your subconscious takes that information in. But the good news is that the brain is fantastically malleable through neuroplasticity. No matter how deep-rooted your issues or frustrations are, they can very easily be changed and skewed. And number 5, finally, don't dwell on frustrations and complaints. Instead, become a problem solver. So it's fine to spend 5 minutes talking about an issue, a problem, but don't labor the point. Don't dwell on the frustrations and the complications and the issues, whatever they are, over a long period of time, whether it's days or weeks or months or years, because all that's gonna do is just build up bitterness and negativity in you, and that's not what we want to do. We wanna seek out the solutions. We wanna seek out the positive attitude that's gonna make the change. And finally, bonus tip, number 6, meditate. Now, I didn't really want to put this in because some people are so funny about meditation. They go, oh, it's so woo, it's so new age. Again, wasn't really into meditation. Now I'm a very, very big fan and advocate. Meditation doesn't have to be, sitting cross-legged for hours at a time. Meditation can very simply be 30 seconds to take a couple deep breaths, focus your mind, and clear your thoughts. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, smash that like button. It tells YouTube that it's a useful video. If you want to see more stuff like this, consider subscribing. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next week.